Florida's sun hits different when you're behind the wheel of $1 million machine. I had five of them: Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, Ferrari 812 Superfast, McLaren P1, Bugatti Chiron, and my sweet baby, a Koenigsegg Jesko. New to the neighborhood, I thought everyone would love the rumble of horsepower echoing through the cul-de-sac at 7:45 a.m. Guess I forgot to factor in the toxic wrath of Anita, the HOA president and self-declared gatekeeper of community decency. I'm talking about a woman who wears fake pearls to take out the trash and probably calls the cops when her roses bloom wrong. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. Anita's nose nearly snapped off from cringing every time I revved one of my cars. She didn't even try to hide it, arms folded, eyes squinting, sipping decaf like it was poison. I noticed her watching me whenever I cruised past her overly trimmed hedge, probably choking on envy. But she never said a word. Not at first. Just these passive-aggressive neighborhood bulletins with bold red ink under excessive luxury vehicle presence. Whatever the hell that meant. I thought it was funny, until I realized Anita wasn't just annoyed, she was obsessed. One morning, I saw her walking her poodle. Fluffy, mean-looking thing, and she stopped, stared at my Jesko, then whispered something to it like, "Soon." Creepy. But hey, I'm not here to make enemies. I'm here to drive, work, and enjoy the Florida life. That was until Anita started planting fake complaints with the HOA board. Suddenly, I was getting letters about my cars being an aesthetic disruption and intimidating to other residents. Oh, please. They weren't intimidated. They were taking pictures. The neighborhood kids loved the roaring engine starts, and I even caught a few teens mimicking my revs when I drove by. Anita? She was busy filing new nonsense every week. Still, I brushed it off. Just a bitter woman in a beige power trip. I figured if I ignored her, she'd get bored and move on. But no. That woman wasn't playing checkers. She was playing some messed up version of Monopoly, with gasoline and a grudge. It was around 8 a.m. on a Thursday when Anita stomped up to my front door like she owned the whole zip code. She was wearing this flamingo pink pantsuit that made her look like a disgraced TV lawyer and holding a manila folder thicker than her ego. I opened the door halfway, mostly out of curiosity, and the first thing she said was, "It's unethical to flaunt your wealth around here." No good morning. No small talk, just straight up HOA hostility. I blinked. "You mean drive my own cars on roads I pay taxes for?" She nodded like she just quoted the Bible. "You're making your neighbors uncomfortable. It's unnecessary, intimidating, bordering on social bullying." I almost laughed in her face. The whole thing sounded like a bad TED Talk. She kept rambling about how the sound of my cars was triggering to seniors and how it encouraged irresponsible spending in the community. I cut her off, politely at first, but her face twisted like I'd insulted her family tree. Then came the kicker. Anita created a completely fictional HOA bylaw that supposedly restricted each homeowner to owning no more than 2 visible vehicles, excluding service vehicles. She printed it out herself. No signatures, no board vote, just Anita and her printer against my horsepower. She handed me the fake rule like it was gospel and gave me 3 weeks to sell off 3 of my cars or face the consequences. I stared at her, deadpan. "So you're trying to control what cars I can own?" "It's for the harmony of the neighborhood," she snapped. "Nah, it's because you drive a 2004 Prius with missing hubcaps and you're mad my cars don't squeak when they reverse." Her mouth fell open like she just found a roach in her salad. She stormed off without another word, but I could see it in her walk. This wasn't over. Anita was brewing something behind those discount sunglasses, and for once I knew ignoring her wasn't an option. But I wasn't selling a single car. If she wanted to play games, I had plenty of gas and time. And unlike her, I don't bluff. Anita didn't just go quiet, she went nuclear. After I refused to obey her imaginary 2-car mandate, she stopped pretending to be civil. The passive-aggressive notes turned into full-on threats. I found a handwritten letter in my mailbox that said, "You're challenging my authority. I will make an example out of you." It wasn't even signed, but come on. Who else writes in cursive with a fountain pen and still uses wax seals? This woman thought she was the queen of the cul-de-sac, and I had just thrown tea in her harbor. Neighbors told me she'd been muttering things at HOA meetings like he thinks he's above the rules and let's see how smug he is when one of those toys disappears. I laughed it off at first. That was my mistake. See, Anita didn't just want me to comply. She wanted to destroy me for refusing. It was a Monday around noon, and I was neck deep in spreadsheets at work when my phone buzzed like it was having a seizure. My home security system was blaring, motion detected in the garage. I flipped open the app, and my jaw damn near dislocated. There she was, Anita, in my garage. She had somehow bypassed my gate and cracked open the side door, probably with some rusted lock-picking tutorial from YouTube. Her hair was up in this tight librarian bun like she was on a mission from Satan. In one hand was a red gas can. In the other, a rag. She poured gas right on my McLaren P1 and lit a match like it was a birthday candle. The flames whooshed up so fast they lit her face like a devil in a horror film. Then she turned and bolted, slipping a little on the oil slick as my sprinkler system kicked in, but not fast enough to stop the firestorm. The explosion was deafening even through the speakers. I watched in horror as fire engulfed not just my McLaren, but half the wall, my toolbox, and part of the Bugatti's tail. Alarms screamed. My dogs were barking from inside. I didn't hesitate, Sletten, and dialed 911. That witch had just crossed the Rubicon, and I wasn't just going to sit back. The fire department got to my place just in time to keep the flames from reaching the house, but the garage was a mess of melted carbon fiber and scorched dreams. The McLaren, gone. The Bugatti, singed like toast, left in the inferno. My CCTV footage caught it all, from the moment Anita snuck in to the fireball that sent her running like she just realized karma doesn't wait politely. By the time I pulled up, sirens echoing, hoses spraying, and neighbors gathered like it was a neighborhood bonfire, I was a cocktail of fury and shock. I showed the footage to the police right there on my phone. No hesitation. One officer even muttered, "That's arson, clear as day." Karen, Anita, was arrested within the hour. They found her at home, casually sipping lemonade on her porch, like she hadn't just committed felony-level psychopathy. When they cuffed her, she shouted, "He made me do it. With his cars. His cars were a menace to the ozone." I swear to God. She tried to claim global warming made her commit arson. In court, her defense was the worst attempt at spinning lunacy into logic I've ever seen. "He was flaunting unnecessary wealth," she cried. "He broke the sacred balance of our community." The judge wasn't buying it. They hit her with felony arson, destruction of private property, breaking and entering, and endangering public safety. 7 years. That's what she got. 7 glorious, fireproof years in prison. And here's the delicious twist. Anita's family tried to cover restitution by selling her house, the same beige-painted tomb where she once ruled HOA meetings like a dictator. But even after the sale, they couldn't scrape together enough to replace the McLaren, let alone the Bugatti repairs and custom tools I lost. That car was limited edition, one of the last of its kind. Gone in flames, because a woman in orthopedic sandals decided she hated the sound of horsepower. Now her name is wiped from the HOA, her throne reduced to a line in neighborhood gossip, and her legacy, a cautionary tale of how not to wage war against someone who has receipts, security footage, and a lawyer that drives a Tesla Plaid. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Comment below.